Okay, so then we move into your personal work, and that's some of the stuff you're doing here. And this is, I'm a therapist, so a lot of this near and dear to my heart. But there's a lot of things in our personality and in our background and in our culture that make it difficult for us to be great lovers. And these are a lot of things we work on in Tantra. People think Tantra is all about sex, but it's very sex positive, but it's also about what is in our way of being better lovers, what is in our way of letting sexual energy flow completely free, open, wild, crazy, what's in the way. So some of the things that are in the way are feeling body shame, feeling hatred about our bodies, not thinking we have great abs, or we don't have the right size dick, or we don't have this or that, and I'm not tall enough, whatever. We're taught these unattainable standards by the media. We're taught that, women especially have this, but I think now with the rise of the internet, men have it just as bad as women, that there are unattainable standards of what attractive looks like. And if we are not that, we often take it out on our self-esteem and our bodies, and that's going to get in the way of us being great lovers. Because if you get into bed with someone and you're not feeling great about yourself, and she's not feeling great about yourself, you're not going to be able to really commune and connect and have great sex. So one thing you want to do is work on yourself. Of course, I always recommend therapy, but whatever, however you want to work on this, you can work on it in Vince's groups or whatever. Just starting to learn to love your own body and starting to see the beauty in all women's bodies, because women are under, if you read some of the statistics on eating disorders for women and how much they all hate their own bodies, you would be shocked, because I know you think that these women are much more beautiful than they feel to be inside themselves. I have had fashion models as clients in my office, and they're talking about how hideous they are. I'm like, really? Or I had these women in when I used to specialize in eating disorders, like, I'm so fat. I'm like, where are you fat? And they'd go like this, right here. It's like, whatever. It's this unattainable standards. And that again is going to get in the way of having really beautiful lovemaking, is if two people are coming together in bed who don't feel good about themselves. When we were in India, we did almost everything naked. We're in these huge rooms, everybody's naked, so that we could all get used to what everybody really looks like, not just in magazines, but this is what naked people really look like. So I would really recommend that if you can do it. Needing to please, if you're a people pleaser, that will get in your way of having really beautiful sex. Childhood trauma, childhood wounding gets in the way of having a beautiful sex life, because people who've been beaten, traumatized, emotionally abused, put down, parents were alcoholics, people who were neglected, all this stuff, until you are able to clear it through all kinds of beautiful clearing processes. I know Vince teaches some. There's a lot of stuff on the internet. There's men's groups, there's therapy, there's coaching, all kinds of things to help us. These terrible messages we got from our past about who we are, how we're not good enough, all that's going to show up in the bedroom also. So any work you can do to clear this stuff shows up everywhere. It shows in business, shows up in how much money you make, shows up in the bedroom. Of course, it shows up in pickup, everywhere. So it's just this constant, and there's also this thing that you can work on this stuff and then it shows up again later. It's like, I thought I was done with that. Well, there's just more work to do. That's part of the human process of growing as a person. So this, again, is something that you can do while you're in lockdown, is work on some of this. Yeah, I should probably get some therapy about that childhood thing. This is a really good time. Therapists are really quite busy right now because a lot of people are sitting home and going, I should work on some of that stuff. So there's a lot of therapists online now at every price point. You can find people for not that expensive, all the way to people who've been doing it for a long time and charge a good amount. And it's a good time right now, because that again will show up in how good of a lover you are, how confident you are, how loving you can be, how your heart's open. You're not afraid to open your heart and share. You're not afraid to give your beautiful masculinity to somebody. You're just free and open and sharing. Every time we've had unloving sex, this leaves residue in the body. So I think that when I was really thinking about what I've talked quite a bit with men about this, unloving sex for men continues to treat them that their penis is something that is not sensitive. It's just to be used as a battering ram. It's just how good it is how hard it is, and how long you can last. And it's just this very sort of teaching you to treat this beautiful object, this beautiful, what we call in Tantra, the wand of light. It's teaching you to treat it like it's just this inanimate battering ram. And anytime you have sex like that, where you're not connecting and you're just using it either by yourself or with someone else, is just this inert thing, that leaves a residue in the body. In Tantra, we go in a lot and we try to heal a lot of that residue that this unloving sexuality has left on the heart and actually in the tissues of the body. And having a real mental focus about sex, we're not going to get into this a lot today, because this is again in other things, but just seeing sex totally mentally, which is always thinking while we're having sex. Thinking, what should I do next? Is this other person liking it? What am I supposed to? All these kinds of thinking, again, keep us from being able to really connect and have sexual energy flow beautifully and freely like it was supposed to. So all of these issues are things we can work on while we're home. If we choose to, we can read a book about it. We can read some articles on the internet, get some counseling. It's beautiful. It frees you up in all areas. I know Robert Kiyosaki, one of my mentors, he's that guy who wrote the Rich Dad book. I used to study with him before he was famous. He used to say, when anything comes up, finance, business, relationships, we go get some counseling about it. That's it.